Hey guys, welcome back. Boy, it's been a little bit of time since we have gamed together. We're really looking forward to it. Tonight's adventure is a really lighthearted one, and I hope that we have a lot of fun. But before we go on with the game, if you can, click on subscribe and then click on that bell. The bell's going to tell you when we start posting any new videos. But in the meantime, let's get right into it. Hey guys, welcome back.
Hello.
Hey. All right, so tonight's adventure is the Hunt for the Snorwhackle. This is a lighthearted adventure designed really so that we can explore Pathfinder 2nd Ed in a little bit of a less serious tone. We have played some one-shots. Unfortunately, there was a part 2 to the last one-shot. But there was no audio for the player, so it was never posted. So for that, I sincerely apologize. But I do have some news for you. I have spoken with and am ready to bring on board an audio engineer who, I know, we're actually getting somewhere. It's an old friend of mine. I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, but I do know who they are. They're very good at what they do, and I'm really looking forward to bringing them on. But in the meantime, the 5+1 to continue. Tua, welcome back to the 5 group. However, you'll notice that we do have one person missing tonight. Kevin, who typically plays Karrack, is off tonight. And actually will not be in, I think, the next 3 adventures, including this one, because he's off with his better half. And they got a job together. And I can tell you, in the acting world, it's almost never that you and they get a job together. They got a job, so I cannot blame them at all. I blame Kevin at all. This is a gold mine for him. So by all means, but. Nonetheless, we hop right into it. Tonight's adventure is going to take place in the country of Tumbria. Tumbria is, in the real world, a comparison. You might picture something akin to like a Bavaria. The land itself, we haven't gone over in an Evindale in-depth episode, so we don't yet know what that is. Tumbria is a lot of farmland and tons of archduchies, akin to Mutvia, in that there are principalities everywhere. In this case, they are actual duchies. However, unlike a Mutvia, there is actually a central form of government, the emperor. The emperor doesn't really get involved in the day-to-day minutiae at all. Instead, the archdukes do. And one particular archduke of a particularly small province has put out a wanted poster, which you, the 5+1, Tua being the +1, have seen. And in this case, it's of a boy by the name of Toman. And Toman, here you can see his face, and it's like it's a wanted poster. Unfortunately, I don't have a handout for this. It's a wanted poster, and here you can see a boy who has done a self-portrait as a stick figure. And he has shown a wanted poster, and it's all been scribbled in like maybe a stick that was like burned in like the fire and then like blown out, and so you have like charcoal all over the wanted poster saying that he lost his Snorwhackle and he's willing to hire. Now the interesting thing about this is that while it's a child who is hiring the party, or rather put out the wanted poster, it actually has an Archduke seal on it with an official proclamation that 100 gold will go to anybody that brings this back. So this is an actual official wanted thing, and they ask you to go to this particular farm, which is in northern Tumbria. It is very close to several other global landmarks, like the Kajikal Bazaar, which we will actually have a video for in the future. But nonetheless, off to the village of Girdle, which happens to also be something like the name of the capital, Girdleburg. In this case, off to the village of Girdle, a nice little farmland community, which whose sound effects I'm about to get going, and if we can, there we go. Off there, after several days' journey, the 5 finally makes their way there, past very green pastures where there are cows and sheep and goats everywhere. Gem, your goat, looks off to the right and sees out there in the field a particularly lovely goat and really wants to go trotting off, but nonetheless, you keep the goat in check and off you go into the village itself. You can see several farmers are out there. They're all doing their thing, and as they go, you see one man immediately rushes out, and he puts on a proper coat. All very colorful people, even the farmers in their earthen colors everywhere. All of it, the dyes used here are fantastic. This is actually what Tumbria is really known for. They're very bright colors. And all of them have very large brimmed hats on that come out past the shoulders to protect themselves against the sun. However, they are all, the crown of the hat is actually at the top of their head. It's just covered in a single piece of fabric and seems to drape off with a very hard, wide brim under it, giving the impression of giant flying saucers on everyone's heads. And with every time that they move, the whole thing just like flops over. And when they tilt down, the whole thing flops down. And so it's a very comical effect, but it is traditional folk garb here in Tumbria. The man who comes out, are you the ones that are coming here to?
Yes, I am Geminara Locke. Yes, you've seen me before, I'm sure. Yes, indeed, I saw your poster.
Well, do you happen to have a copy of it? Because we've had many people who have come along and that have wanted to take the Archduke's money, which I have been placed in charge of. Oh. But do you happen to have the wanted poster on you?
Tua, wanted poster.
Yes, that's the one right there. Yes. Well, let me introduce you.
Good job, Tua.
Let me introduce you to Tommen. Tommen is this way, please. And he starts walking off. The coat, his very long coat, almost like with tails on it, like coattails, like dragging behind him in the farm dirt. The smell of manure and the musky smell of farm animals and some of the humans there permeates the air until finally he comes over to a house. And with a rap on the door flies open, and there you see a young two-headed boy looking up all wild-eyed at you, the seasoned adventurers that he has never seen before. I leave you now to the kind hands of Tommen. Tommen, please tell all the kind people here what it is that you are looking for. These are the very famous adventurers which are going to help you find your Snorwhackle.
Wait, I'm sorry. Steve, did you say two-headed boy?
Toe-headed.
Okay.
I heard two also, and I'm going, oh crap. Isn't that enough? How many eyes do I look at?
We're back in Minton.
Jaffe leans down and talks to the right head. He addresses the right head only. Only the right head.
Yeah, fun fact, it's a front and a back head, so...
You know what? I did say a toe-headed boy. I'm going to change it to a two-headed boy.
No!
A two-headed boy.
I'll take care of that real quick. I'll kill the left head.
A two-headed boy has answered the door. What are you guys doing?
No, stop it.
This way.
Apart from screaming immediately.
One head just kind of like
Oh.
No.
Geminara exclusively talks to that head.
It's like Andy Garcia's fraternal twin.
That head only speaks.
Now that we're in the right mood, it is a little boy. He's got he apparently his family comes from the south of Tumbria, close to Adri'il or Corfra. He has a beautiful chocolate-colored skin with a bright straw blonde hair. He stands there looking up looking at you. And you guys are broken. Looking at you seriously with wide-eyed wonderment. Are you the ones who gonna help me find my Snorwhackle?
First off, what the hell is a Snorwhackle?
And Geminara steps in front of Wraith and kneels down before the young
Wraith,
man.
huh?
Sorry.
Stands in front of Wraith, right?
Oh, God.
In front of Zeli and very seriously looks into this little boy's eyes, however many of them there are.
Two?
And yes, indeed, I am Geminara Locke. You may have heard of my tales, and these
I have heard of you. You answered the call?
I have, yes, indeed. Where did
this is...
Yes,
I know.
I don't...
I heard about the time that you killed that dragon with your bare hands and when you only had 3 thumbs. I heard...
Yes.
It was
Yeah,
like, I think
3.
you used your big toe or something. Some people get a little bit confused, but I want to help somehow with the hunting of the Snorwhackle, which I lost.
Well,
He's no longer coming back.
Now, this Snorwhackle, this is a very serious affair, which is why I've brought my company here with me of also famous adventurers.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Very famous. Not as famous as I am, of course, but they're getting there. And you, young lad, look like a burgeoning young adventurer yourself.
I have a sword. He turns around. He reaches inside the house. Looks around, can't find it immediately. Looks back. I have one. Hold on. And he runs into the house, and you hear all sorts of catastrophe going on inside. And he comes back, and he has a stick in his hand. This is my sword. And he starts coming at you with it like,
All you have to do is just stick him with the pointy end. It works.
And
every time.
He starts jabbing it right through.
Yep, and she's...
She definitely dodges
Acrobatics.
it, not a problem. She tumbles out of the way. The stories are true. You can't fly through the air.
Right, yep.
That time so you will help me find the Snorwhackle?
As long as you're paying.
Turns to the others and just kind of gives Sully a quick shove.
I'll give you 1 billion copper.
That is a lot.
I'd rather have the 100 gold we discussed. That's all.
1 billion copper is 1 million gold.
I'll take that. And Geminara just one second, small lad, adventuring lad, and she just gathers the party around her just a couple of feet away, and she just goes, guys. Right. Remember when we needed that money that one time for that medical kit and it was really important and we didn't have enough? Okay. This is exactly the opportunity that we've been seeking.
And what makes you think that this young boy actually has that kind of money?
It had the seal on it.
He's probably either a son or, through some unfortunate circumstance, he may in fact be the Archduke.
Not only that, but the money's already been given to this guy who is, of course, overseeing this young lad. And as long as we make the young lad happy, I bet it's like a birthday gift or something.
And with that, with the mention of that other guy, there you can see that that very excitable man who with the very long coat. You see him standing off maybe about 20 feet, 25 feet or so, standing underneath the shadow of one of the eaves of a nearby house, of a thatched roof, standing under that. And he's very excitedly just holding his hands, and he's looking at you. He's just like he can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Hi.
Okay, well...
Easy money.
I'd like to see the money first before we go traipsing down a stuffed animal that probably fell down a hole.
I'd like to know what exactly a Snorwhackle is, and if it has in some way, shape, or form an Archduke's seal. It could be an exotic, possibly dangerous animal that's somehow imprinted on a child. So can we figure out what exactly this is, if it's venomous, its size, anything at all?
Well, he thinks the sword is a stick, so the Snorwhackle could be a leaf.
And Geminara turns back to the young lad, whose name she has completely forgotten already.
Tolman.
And you.
I think that was an out-of-character thing, wasn't it, Jim?
Oh, no. She's just completely forgotten his name.
Okay.
She doesn't remember names. What are you talking about?
Tolman.
You, bug. How are you? So, this... Snorwhackle. Now, of course, I know what a Snorwhackle is and looks like, but my compatriots, unfortunately, are less world-traveled than I am. Would you do the honors of please giving us a description?
It's big, and it's green, and sometimes it's he starts instead of constantly looking up at everyone, his gaze slowly lowers to eye level with Tua, looking right at Tua. It's big, and it has like arms on its head that have like little fluff balls on them, and it has like 1,000,000 teeth. And the teeth are all over the place, and it likes to sit a lot. And sometimes it comes and it visits me, and then we play games, and then sometimes it eats things, like lots of things. Like sometimes it eats like my mom's pies and stuff like that. So it's but I haven't seen it in a long time. I think I don't know.
Does it eat people?
Oh, it's eaten a lot of people. It ate the whole village next door, like the village over there.
Huh. And you're hunting the Snorwhackle, but you said it was your friend?
Well, sometimes we play hunt. Sometimes we play hunter.
Ah.
And then I
And
What's the name of the Snorwhackle?
Snorwhackle. That is its name.
Oh, it's like calling the goat for the goat.
now,
You have a goat? I have a goat. We have 5 goats.
I have a ram.
You should show him your goat.
It's a ram. It's a very impressive mountain ram, and she gestures to Aegon and says, "Come on."
One of Egwin's eyes is kind of drifts off while the other one stays fixed.
That's fine. He's keeping a lookout.
so Tommen, you said it's big. Now, are we talking about bigger than a cow?
Oh, it's eaten like lots of cows.
Oh, so it's bigger than this house that we're standing in front of?
No, it would never be able to come into the house if it were bigger than the house. Well, sometimes.
Sometimes.
What do you mean sometimes?
Well, sometimes it could be really big, like as big as the sun, and other times it could be really small, so I could put it in my pocket.
Huh. Does it eat goats?
Oh, it eats lots of goats all the time, and sometimes hates them.
How about rams?
What's a ram?
Right. Yes. Does it eat rams? Rams look like this. And she points to Aegon.
Maybe. Yeah,
Oh.
I think it looks... Well, something's broken with your ram.
That's fine. It's supposed to do that. Do you have any thing that we could track, like a scrap of fur or a scale or?
I could show you a picture of it.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Would be great.
I draw pictures of this if I can find the picture.
Oh god.
I can't find the goddamn picture. Where's the picture? I'm looking for the picture.
Young lad.
Hold on.
Um,
Seriously, it's so it's big and hold on.
yes, take your time. We'll wait for you to draw it out for us.
If well, yes, I'm going to draw this right now. As a matter of fact, if I can find.
You're drawing it out, all right.
Yes, drawing it.
Oh, I'm drawing it. Believe me, I'm drawing this thing right now. Like computer crash, freaking thing.
It's like he's
There
got
it
a
is.
full.
I found it.
Oh, your computer's
Oh.
wackled?
No, I
You're
have
never
to.
supposed to
Oh
go
God,
full.
things are happening here. Hold on. All right, you know what? Screw it. We're going right back to old school tech. All right, so
no.
I can't even. Hey, and he grabs a piece of paper and he hands it to Tua.
Wow, nice save.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Tua, can you
What's that?
just
Oh my god, how does that thing walk?
okay, so it's
It
Begrudgingly.
walks a lot like it bounces a lot.
oh, okay. So
It kind of bounces towards you. It likes to bounce. Sometimes you can bounce on it.
oh,
Okay.
Now, lad. How come the Snorwhackle has never eaten you?
Oh, we're friends. Sometimes, and then when I play the Archduke, I can then attack it, and then it dies, and then it comes back.
Huh. It does not like the Archduke?
Oh, no. We play. Well, the Archduke is, he's a nice man, but he takes care of the village. He used to live here. So, but now but he has, the thing, it hasn't come back, and that's why we need help. I need help.
Well, whenever investigating a missing person, or more importantly, a missing gold item, I always start with the last known location.
Oh, last known location? Up over here, and he runs right into the house, little feet going the entire way, and he disappears into a door.
In the house? It's not polite. You should.
He sticks his head out. Come on!
Well,
there's
and
no
Geminara
adults
goes
in
after him.
There are no adults in the house. The house itself is something of a wreck. You can see child's toys pretty much everywhere. Small carved cows and sheep and other things like that. You see a small farm set up where twigs and whatnot were laid out as like a boundary of the town. It doesn't look anything like the village that you're in. But you can definitely tell that the kid has an active imagination. Take a look around. However, you see that there's a hearth and that there's a swing-out arm for a cast iron kettle or cauldron, which is there. There are fresh cut vegetables and whatnot, along with kitchen knives and stuff in the mix, on a counter a little bit taller than the child. So suggesting perhaps that an adult is here or is usually present but isn't here at the moment. If you walk into the house and you start taking a look around, you can see the kid has dove into what seems to be a combination living area, sleeping quarters, playroom, and other things like that. It's a little bit towards the back of the house on the right-hand side. It's actually a fairly large house for this village, which is primarily comprised of peasants and farmers. And he encourages you. Say, come in, over here, over here, over here. And he's showing you. So I have this thing, and he thrusts in what appears to be a stuffed rabbit skin. To us, it just looks like a bundle of fur that's been stuffed with some straw and has been crudely sewn shut. There's some parts of the fur completely missing, revealing just bald stuff. And he's holding, here, hold this, and he gives it to one of you, like holds it out, thrusts it in your chest. And then I have this one here, and then I have this here, and you should hold on to this box because this box is like, it's magical. And he rattles it, and there's nothing in it, and then he takes something and puts it in there. Goes, see, it's magical. And then puts that and gives that over to somebody else. He goes, so this is where we sometimes play, right here. This is, and he was sitting right there, and he shows at the bottom of Hallion's feet.
Toman.
Who?
Hallion, can I have a, give me a straight-up perception, please.
Perception.
Zeli, go ahead.
Toman, has anything out of the ordinary or has anything changed in your routines daily that might have happened at the exact same time where the Snorwhackle no longer returned?
Well, sometimes the nighttime doesn't come.
I'm sorry, can you explain that?
I don't see the nighttime.
Is that because you're sleeping?
Usually. Hallion, what'd you get for your perception check?
26.
Wow. Yeah, you look down, and underneath a lot of the stuff, which is completely strewn about, the floor is absolutely cluttered, you see something that rather stands out to your eyes. It appears to be a small bottle, a vial, ceramic, uncorked.
Oh, that is interesting. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up and give a quick little smell, see if I can discern.
It has a sweet, like a saccharine smell to it. It's actually, it smells like a syrup of some kind.
Does your Snorwhackle drink syrup?
Oh! He reaches up and he tries to grab it. That's the magic potion that I sometimes drink. And usually when I drink it, that's when I begin singing the Snorwhackle. But I haven't had any, I don't have any more of those. So
Who gives you this to drink?
Oh, that was Sebastian. Sebastian, old man Sebastian. He gives that to me sometimes.
And he gives that to you sometimes, and then the Snorwhackle comes and plays?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's wonderful, yeah.
And would he be the man who has the money right now?
Man who has money? No, I had the money. And he turns around, goes into a corner, grabs a pail of something very heavy, comes over and chucks it down. The entire thing is filled up with pebbles. So he reaches in there, holds out, and goes, here's 1 million copper, another 1 million copper. I have lots of copper.
How generous! Who was the man who was standing outside your house earlier who introduced us?
Oh, that's the mayor. That's the mayor of the village. He's a nice man.
That's not Sebastian.
No.
Dude,
No.
what's the mayor's name?
I'm
assuming you've only called him mayor your whole life, huh?
Well, yeah. I think. Yes.
Where does Sebastian live?
Oh, outside of town. I could show you. And he runs right out of the room and right out of the house.
Oh.
Runs after him.
Okay.
Runs after him.
All right. Yeah. And you see, and he like stops for 1 second. He stops at a wooden fence in order to pet a cow, which is leaning its head down. There's a dog over there. He runs over. He picks up a stick and throws it at the dog. The dog starts running and also growls back at Jaffe. Starts barking at Jaffe.
Of course.
And then the kid, he picks up a stick and goes, ha ha! And he holds his, victoriously holds the stick up high like it's a sword and starts running awkwardly down the road, which leads out of the village.
Okay.
You see several farmers, and they just kind of wave at him as they go by and just kind of shake their head and just go right back to doing what they're doing.
Adventurous young lad.
Are you guys following?
Oh, yeah. Running right along.
Okay, yeah, no problem. He's not too hard to follow. You begin tracking. And what's that?
I guess we have the same speed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like running out at 20 or whatever. He starts heading down towards the river. You begin smelling the freshness in the air, and certainly the cow pies, which are all around the place. Off to your right, you see a whole herd of cows, which are there. However, he crosses over several small planks, like some split logs, which have been laid down in the river, which have been acting as a makeshift bridge. He crosses over that and heads into a hilly region. After maybe another 5 minutes or so, it's not too long, after another 5 minutes or so, you can see that the land starts coming up, and he's running into what seems to be like an old riverbed, climbs up, scrambling up, gets down on his hands and knees as he goes up a small incline, which you guys can usually just step on. Step up and over, except for Tua, who also pretty much needs to do the same thing. And he starts heading into a small copse of trees. Just beyond that, there's some craggy rock areas, and he indicates a void in between two of the rocks, which is apparently just like a small hole in the ground. You can't see the bottom of it because it's very dark, but there you are. It's in here. This is where Snorwhackle likes to sleep sometimes, and this is where I found him. But also, this is where Sebastian is sometimes. He comes out of this hole.
He comes out of the hole.
Does he?
Yes.
Huh.
He's an old man. This is where the old man sleeps.
Old man.
The old man.
Right. Well,
An old man who lives in a hole in the ground and gives you a magic potion that makes you see the Snorwhackle.
Yes.
oh no, the potion summons the Snorwhackle, apparently.
Yeah.
Hallion.
The Snorwhackle likes the smell. It's made of berries, and I know that because Sebastian told me before he made me drink it. Tomon! That's my daddy. I gotta go. You find the Snorwhackle. Archduke pay you lots of money. Bye. And he just starts traipsing off.
This child is being drugged.
Indeed.
This child is being abused. This child ran into a hermit that lives in a cave somewhere who's concocting some sort of caveberry juice that's making him see monsters. This is what's happening. We have descended into madness.
We know that.
Yeah, that's the end of the sentence. You should know that because it's very obvious. He handed us pebbles. This is a nightmare.
Ground in that. But we can always assume that perhaps it's not the worst, and perhaps it's just a Karrack hospital situation where there's a very small person who happens to have a pet Snorwhackle. And I think it is our civic duty to investigate this fully without making assumptions.
I want to detect magic on that potion. I want to see if that's actually magical or that's just straight drugs.
Sure, yeah. You begin to cast detect magic, and the colors of the world all around you begin to scintillate and shimmer here and there. The various magical items that each of you have on you become highlighted to Zeli's vision, and then he begins to exclude those. And over the course of the next few seconds, his gaze begins to concentrate on that. And yes, in fact, you can see that this is a magical, or the contents of it seem to radiate some kind of very faint illusory magic.
That's magical, and it is making his brain see shit.
Ah, dang.
This is illusionary, my friend.
Now, the question we have to ask is, why is the Archduke fully in support of this? Why is his seal on this wanted poster for this Snorwhackle?
Well, there's a few different ways to, falsify a seal, but
Falsify the seal?
That it's an actual seal. There was that mayor, whose name is Mayor.
Jem, as you turn around, you take a look as you turned your head, and you give me a perception check, please.
Yes, indeed.
My thought is not that the seal is forged in any way. I think that the Archduke, there's clearly some sort of connection between the child and the Archduke, and by keeping this child drugged and hallucinating, then there is some sort of benefit to be had from that.
Hey, I've spotted something off to my 27.
Okay, 27, and you can see what appears to be coming from the coming back down back down the hill from whence the stream begins. You can see an older man on your side of the stream. You see an older man. He's in faded charcoal gray clothing. Looks like I've seen many, many better years, like decades ago. Barely scraggly hair on his otherwise balding head, and a makeshift beard. I say makeshift because it's not quite. It's just very random long hairs that are still attached to his face that he hasn't really taken care of. His feet are black with the color of the earth, his nails overgrown, coming down with a hooked nose and a very wide grin. You see him, he's about 70 feet off, and apparently he hasn't seen you guys yet. He's looking down at the ground as he tries to navigate the various pebbles and rocks in his way.
I'm going to duck behind a tree.
Okay, yeah. You got it. Okay, all right, Jaffe, Zeli, you guys hide. Jem, what are you doing? Or Hallion, Tua?
Crossbow out as well.
Okay.
Jem strides forward. Well, hello there, sir. How are you this fine afternoon?
I don't even know why you jumped behind
He looks...
She's going to speak to
my
you.
name is Geminara, Locke, and I'm hunting a Snorwhackle. And you, sir, seem a little bit odd for this area. What's your name?
He begins to approach, and once he's about 20 feet out or so, where the grass is a little bit smoother... Zeli, are you hiding, or are you now, because you have a crossbow out, so you're obviously able to see him?
Just in case, to protect, in case he's an idiot and he's going to do something stupid. I'm not stealthing. I'm just hiding behind a tree. Yeah.
So you're behind a tree with all right, so you're doing that corner thing. All right, cool.
Yep.
Cool. Well. If it isn't to go friends of Tobin's. I had heard that you were all coming this way, and I have prepared for you the very things that you will need in order to see the Snorwhackle.
What?
We're not drinking your cave juice, old man.
Oh, no. You see, if you don't drink the cave juice, then you're not ever going to be able to see the Snorwhackle. Well, I can tell you this much. The thing actually exists, you see. It's not just in the kid's brain.
How did you know we were questioning?
You're
Because you're the only people here that would have ever look at you all. You're all decked out in all sorts of weaponry which do not exist in this area. You're very obviously adventurers which have been hired by the Archduke by having a water potion and you follow through on just like this one. Tommen handed them all out.
Well, you're not from this area either.
No, I am not from this area. I am from the next farm over. But that is neither here nor there. And so you see, my friends, if you want to see the Snorwhackle, you are going to need... He opens up his coat.
Whoa!
And pulls out the...
he was clothed?
He was clothed. He pulls out some jars,
Juffy!
which look just like the small jar in the kids' room.
And what is this made out of? Sebastian.
No, Sebastian
How much
is
does
my
it
name.
cost?
Well, first off, it happens to be of a very fine ceramic, something that I acquired in my own little village.
No, the liquid inside.
Oh. Well, it's a proprietary concoction meant to unlock one's mind, so that you can see the things which exist that other people cannot.
I cast Detect Magic again.
You do.
Yes.
You concentrate on it, and as he's moving it around, your eyes begin to follow the erratic motions of Sebastian as he's holding this thing, and he's waving it around and gesticulating here and there, more scintillating colors, and as your vision begins to focus on this, you see that they are actually potions of true seeing.
Oh.
Well, I had mushrooms one time that didn't agree with me, and I've been there before, so I think I'd rather not, thank you.
Actually, Jim,
Zeli, if you don't mind, I'd like you to make an Arcana check, please.
Sure. The total number is 12.
Okay, thank you much. Jim? Oh, I'm sorry, Zeli, you were saying.
Yeah, Jim, it may have that additional effect, but technically, they're just potions of true seeing.
I'll take one.
Oh, like the candles.
Yeah, pretty much. Very similar. But not in that usage, but yes, very similar.
Stomach candles. Got it. Well, Tua, there's no current rule against imbibing strange liquids from strangers.
Under no circumstance does that make any kind of sense.
Probably be a new rule, but only after we try this one. Yes, sir.
However, I would tell you this right now. Now is not the time to drink these things. You must wait for the night time. It will not come out. And furthermore, be careful of its nasty, nasty breath. Oh, it's gonna want to melt you, you see.
Oh, wait, it only comes out in the nighttime.
I'm sorry, milk me?
I think he said melt.
Oh.
No.
But Sebastian, you said
Neither is pleasant.
it only comes out in the nighttime.
Yes.
But Tommen said he hasn't seen it in a long time, and he hasn't seen a nighttime in a long time. So if he hasn't seen a nighttime while he's sleeping, according to him, but he always sees the Snorwhackle, how is that making any sense?
Wait.
Wait.
The child has not been able to see the nighttime, and the nighttime is only when the Snorwhackle comes out, and the child has not been able to see the Snorwhackle.
I have a question. Why did you give this to a child first?
Well. Now there's a story in that, is there not?
Yeah.
If you tell it, yes.
At the very least, it's a deposition.
He looks at you with a rather blank stare as if he's trying to formulate the words in his mind.
I start making a wide berth, kind of doing a reconnoiter around the area to make sure we're not, making sure we are alone.
Sure. Yeah. Give me a perception check, please.
Sure thing.
And if anybody else would like to do what would it be in Pathfinder 2nd Ed for a sense motive type of thingy?
It was the.
What was it again?
Sense motive, I believe, is diplomacy. Hold. Nope, I lied.
No, it wasn't. It was something different.
Yeah, give me a second. By the way, it's a 31 on your perception.
31. Okay, so while you are taking a look around, hold on here.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up. I got the paper in my hand. Oh my lord, where is
Skills. Here we go. Hey, look at that. I even have like a marker on it, and I didn't even look. So it is a. Oh, for crying out loud, where is it?
it? It's not listed.
We're gonna know this.
It was something completely not. I thought it wasn't a skill anymore. It was something else.
Yeah, it's definitely not a skill. Sense motive is no longer a specific skill. It's probably some kind of an action under a skill.
I think it was under perception, was it not?
I'm looking perception right now to verify.
It is not under deception. That's create diversion, impersonate, and lie and faint.
Perception.
Oh, perception. Oh, a perception-based one.
Yeah.
It's, you know what? It has to be. Now that I think about it.
According to the description of perception, it says your perception measures your ability to notice things, search for what's hidden, and tell whether something of the situation is off. So that might be correct.
Yeah, I'm going to go along with that. So give me a perception check, please.
Something's hinky around here.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, who's giving that perception?
Whoever wants to do the equivalent of a sense motive.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you got?
Ooh,
24.
24?
24 as well.
Okay, Tua, can you get closer to your mic?
24.
Thank you. Jaffe, what do you got?
24.
24. Gem?
22.
Hallion.
Oh, I didn't roll. I just don't trust this man.
Okay.
I don't trust the man who lives in caves and drugs children.
He is absolutely. You can't tell if he's actually trying to make something up or if he genuinely can't remember. But he's not giving the usual signs of not remembering something. So something is off, but you're not able to detect exactly what.
Could be my proximity to the cow fields, but I smell bullshit.
Well, I feel like there's only one way to find out exactly what's going on here, which is, of course, to hunt the Snorwhackle. So, sir, I will take one of those magic fun drinks.
Oh, absolutely. I think you are absolutely going to enjoy this. And hands it right over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. The rest of my comrades? Tua, yes, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. Shima Bay, what's up?
Here's one to Jaffe. Oh, actually, I can show you exactly what these things look like. Hold on.
Hallion.
I have a prop.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Hey, he's been to the Ren Fair.
Yeah, exactly. I've been to the Ren Fair.
Oh,
And you know exactly what this is.
Oh, geez, yeah.
come on, Hallion, Zeli. We're all gonna drink it together.
Why are you so sure of that?
If they
What makes you think that any... I have been put on such a level of scrutiny over things far less sketchy than this.
I can assure you, Hallion, now that we all know your name.
I hate that you chanted this.
Hallion, I assure you that at no time am I seeking anything that's going to be detrimental to your life or to anyone else's, but rather to lift your minds into some kind of a, shall we say, visions, something that will open your mind to the possibilities of the world. And that is exactly what is inside of this bottle.
Are you trying to say that the potion will be enlightening?
Enlightening in a certain way. Certainly able to see things which normally cannot be seen. For this area here has an ancient curse, you see. And the denizens of this area are all hidden from sight.
Repeat that last sentence. The denizens of this area are what?
Hidden from sight.
There we go. Okay.
And from hearing, apparently. Just me. All right. Well, we have to wait till nightfall. What is the best place to wait, strange old man who's giving us the answers?
I would say right here would be a very good thing. I'm going to leave, however. I'm going to go back home.
Sure, please, leave.
Very well. And then I wish you all simply the best of luck.
Wait. We need 2 more. 3 more.
He turns around and throws it at you. turns and unceremoniously starts going back up the hill in a very awkward manner.
Just hit Zeli in the head.
If you've just been drugging a child, I'll make sure they don't find you.
He just, did you see him? Just waves.
I have an answer to how the sense motive works. I figured it out while we're waiting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, very quickly, the GM, it's a secret thing. The GM attempts a single secret perception check for you and compares the result to a deception DC of the creature, which would fall under the lie category or whatever.
I got you under deception. Okay, that makes perfect sense. All right, cool. All right, now we know in the future. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
That's kind of cool.
And it costs 1 action, by the way.
If we're in some kind of a turn-based scenario, yeah.
It's a 1 action thing. Yep.
Okay, cool. Moving on.
Yep.
So we wait until nightfall, or
Yeah.
we can attempt to track that old man's footsteps.
Why?
Did you say why?
Yes.
Because
Do you
he's
think
weird
he's
and
a
old.
Snorwhackle?
No,
What do you
no,
think? What is your motivation? What do you want to get out of finding where he lives and tracking him?
Well, so he didn't go into the hole.
he did not go into the hole.
No.
No, he went back up there. He went right back up the same way he came.
Well, we have approximately how much time until nightfall?
About 1 hour or so.
We have about
Already-
an hour until nightfall. I say we try and see where he came from, and do that instead of just staring at this hole.
And in doing so, we accomplish...
Finding out where to get revenge if this kills one of us.
Well, he said this is a good place.
Yes, well, we can come back here after an hour. Once it's nightfall, we can come back here. I'm just saying we can go and we can follow that crazy old man, see about this hidden village, and see if maybe we can figure out where he got this weird magic illusion juice from.
Well, I say we go ahead and do it. Then let's try to follow him. Something tells me we won't be able to find him.
Hey, Joffy, we don't know until we try. Who can track? Tua!
Yes.
So can I.
You want to do it, Sally? That's okay.
Oh no, we can both do it and we'll help each other out.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. And Goaty can help too.
All right, so you guys begin tracking. You start walking alongside the stream, heading back up that rocky path that the old man, Sebastian, had come down. And when you come over the crest of the hill, you can see that there is, in fact, another village on the other side. However, even from here, and in the twilight of the dusk, or in the dusk light, whatever you want to call it, in that awkward time between night and day, you see what appears to be a burned-out village. Is not just a normal village.
Yeah, well, I mean, if this was the village next door, Tommen told us that the village next door got eaten. So,
Not another one.
Yeah, I was going to question him on that when he said it, but I just didn't want to get him going somewhere else. I wanted to hear what he had to say first.
Well, he said eaten, not burned.
yeah, but he said, watch the breath and might milk.
Yeah, that's right. Watch being melted. Oh, yeah, God.
Oh.
It breathes fire.
The Snorwhackle breathes fire.
Oh, come on now.
You're assuming it doesn't breathe acid.
So bad.
Either way, who cares?
I care.
There is so little plan that we have for when we actually do encounter. If we do encounter this creature, what? We gonna tie it up with rope?
I do have a lot of rope. Well, Hallion, you're so smart, you come up with a plan.
Nighttime begins to fall.
My plan would be probably to arrest the old man for drugging a child, and then letting the law enforcement take care of it.
Do we
Well, I don't-
continue to track to find out where he went, or just we got to this open space? I'd like to find out where he went.
Did anyone else hear that?
No,
Yeah,
yes, I'm hearing
I do.
that.
It seems to be coming from back down the hill towards that hole between the rocks.
The Snorwhackle.
All right.
You haven't drank the potion yet.
But maybe
Right.
you can hear it and not see it.
Oh, ooh, that's smart. Because while something's
All right,
invisible,
well.
it makes sound.
Down the hatch, everybody.
Okay.
Just
Fair
as you begin to do that, hold.
Okay.
I need perception checks from everyone.
Yeah, I'm not drinking that shit right away.
Not a fucking chance is that going in my mouth.
Not in
No
real
way.
life,
Oh.
not in the game. Oh no.
Let's go around the table here. Zeli, what'd you get?
Hold, please. I didn't realize.
Hallion, what'd you get?
23.
Tua,
26.
Jaffe,
31.
Zeli,
20.
Gem. Do you have any modifiers to your
I have
perception?
to have points in there.
Dude,
Wait, what modifier are we rolling here?
how the hell did you roll a 1? That's impossible.
Wait, so what's the modifier? What's the modifier?
It's a 1 on the die, right?
The one on the die.
Your modifiers on your character sheet.
For
Is the mod?
wisdom.
No, perception. It's its own
Oh,
thing.
perception. Oh, okay. 12.
Oh
That's-
my.
Oh, see?
Now, however, there is a
Got it.
failure now, isn't there? Is it when you're doing skill checks?
Oh yeah, if it's more than 10.
And so it's the 10s. It's not the 1s and the 20s anymore, right? But there is something about 1s and 20s now. Still,
Yeah,
Yeah, ones degrade the step of the result. So if it's a success, it's a failure. If it's a failure, it's a critical failure.
So
And then
Gem,
20s are the same other way.
Gem, what you see is a clawed hand coming out of the cave. A hand that scratches at the ground, talons about 2 inches long, incredibly deadly. Nothing like that kind little child's drawing. Tuba, can we see that drawing again one more time, if you happen to have it?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay, so while you're pulling that up, nothing quite like this
This
lovely.
is wholly inaccurate.
So you see a talent now. It's only about human-sized. For those of you got, and no one here, everyone got 20 and above. The rest of you, right? Okay.
Yeah.
For the rest of the 20, what you see is a large creature coming up over the hill. At first, you see what appears to be a scale undulating on some kind of a massive scaly neck, a scale that's stuck up on the back of its neck. However, Gem, you don't see this. You see something coming out of the hole. You guys do not see something coming out of the hole. You see something arriving from on the backside of the hill. Then you see what appears to be the stretching out of a leathery wing. And it folds back into its body. You then hear a head rises up. All you see is the back of its head, green-colored scales there, with a flapping of its of the scales that rise up out of its spine, coming back down. The entire thing seems to leap into the ground, a forked tail following it, whipping up into the air, and also disappearing into the ground behind the hill that in which the hole is. Gem, coming back to you, you see a small creature coming out with strange hands that pull out its body and like squeezing between the rocks as if it were some kind of a gelatinous being pops out, squeezing out. The taloned hands are horrific indeed, but the body is bulbous. Its head awkward, pear-shaped, many teeth just like the drawing, and antennae that seem to be covered in some kind of like a black pom-pom.
Aw, it's kind of cute. I'm gonna shoot it now.
Gem, may I have a wisdom saving throw, please? Or will save.
For those of us who
will
have
save.
not drank the potion, what happened?
What you see is what I
Okay.
described.
Uh,
No one here has drank any potions yet. This is what you
Okay.
see.
I was about to.
Yeah, exactly. You were about to, but
we
not
haven't
yet.
drank it yet, but we're still seeing
What'd you
it.
get,
That's
Tim?
trippy. 23.
23. You're kind of getting the feeling that this is your friend.
Aww.
And it plops down on the ground. None of you can see this thing. It plops down on the ground, splays out one leg, kind of sits itself upright on these taloned hands, which are actually more like cloven hooves, really. It's just like two knuckles. They happen to end in talons. And its teeth with its gaping maw, or rather wide maw, with its teeth in all sorts of different directions. It's actually kind of cute. Very sad eyes looking at you that only get sadder as you hold out your weapon.
Gemma just takes her arrow and kind of puts her bow back and flips it around so the feather end is like reaching out towards you. He's like, "Oh, hey there, little guy."
You guys don't
Aren't
see
you
what the hell she's
cute?
talking about.
Aren't you cute? She tries to tickle it with the feathers.
Did she drink that shit?
Ah,
I didn't see her. I think she might have just huffed it.
you guys. Like, this isn't harmful at all.
Now, the thing is,
Come
now,
on.
to be fair, you guys were up on top of the hill. You started hearing the sounds. You have not yet come down the hill. So while you're holding out the fletching for this thing, it's still like maybe 75 feet away, about 70 feet away.
Oh, it's like really far away. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, Gem is gonna, if she has any more movements, is gonna move towards this bulbous, weirdly
At what rate of
odd
speed?
child's creature.
Oh, no, you're not.
Let's see, 30 feet.
All right, Jaffe, did you want to intercept that, or?
Uh,
Actually, you guys roleplay. Go ahead. You take it from here.
Guys, look, it's not. Come on, look at this thing. It's adorable.
Now, are we
can
talking about the same
absolutely-
thing?
Well, yeah. Come on, look. Oh,
You
let
guys
me
no
feel
longer see what's
anybody.
beyond the hill. She continues to see what's there.
Oh my gosh, look at it. It's just. Oh man.
Geminara, there's nothing there. And I'm holding her shoulder at this point, like,
You are hallucinating. There's nothing.
But there was a dragon, right?
Yeah, so
Oh, I saw that.
Saw
Green.
something
That
awful.
is not a dragon.
we saw a dragon. You saw who the hell knows.
I'm seeing a Snorwhackle, I suppose. That's.
It
Well,
waves at you.
look, I'm just gonna go down there and I'm
Oh,
just
no,
gonna
you're not.
interact with it, and I'm just.
We are
Nice
asking
to
you.
know any Jim.
It's fine. I get a really good feeling about this.
No.
I know what I'm doing.
I know.
Yeah, do it. Come on, come on.
Well, this could be the opportunity we've all been waiting for. Why don't you go say hi to the Snorwhackle, Gem?
Perfect. And Jim proceeds forward.
It's not. Gem, how about you drink that potion now? Yeah, drink it. Drink
Oh,
it.
I thought I had.
No,
Oh,
you
I-
didn't.
Yeah, real interesting that you're seeing something that they say can't be seen unless you drink the cave juice, and you haven't drank the cave juice yet. Interesting logic
Well,
there.
you haven't drunk the cave juice either, have
And
you?
I'm not seeing the Snorwhackle!
You saw a dragon.
Yeah.
Everyone else is
So
seeing the
does
dragon.
that tell you
Oh, just
something?
because everyone else sees the dragon doesn't mean that there's not a Snorwhackle in front of me. I'm gonna drink this now.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay.
You know what? We should just let her go.
I am all for enabling Geminara Locke to do whatever the fuck she wants to do for the next 30
I
minutes.
thought about Geminara.
Did
Say
Jaffe
aye.
also just drink it? Did Jaffe drink it? Oh, Jaffe drank it as well?
Yes, I
Okay,
Okay.
we have a
Drink
control
it,
group.
Drink it. Drink it.
All right. So the
I
two of you
cast
just,
message on Hallion.
Two just drank it? Anyone
What do you
else?
cast on Hallion?
I'm going to cast a message on Hallion in case I have to talk to you at a distance in a minute.
Oh.
All right. Hallion, Zeli, what are you guys doing?
I just mentioned that. I don't know if it probably got caught up in the thing.
I
cast
still need
message.
Oh,
Yeah.
that I heard. I didn't know if you were drinking it at all.
No, hell no.
Gotcha.
Yeah, fuck that. No.
I'm actually going to go
Jimmy
hide behind a tree and go into
Downers.
stealth mode right now.
Okay. Hey, Jem. So
Yes.
Bye-bye.
So the three of you, Jaffe, Tua, and Jem, the world's colors start coming out even here in the dusky sky. You can see that the blue of night has already begun to start to fade, and the green of the grass begins to show a little bit more. The greenish blue and purple hues of the Snorwhackle begin to show itself, and yes, Jaffe and Tua, you see this creature just kind of sitting there. However, the talons are now replaced with these harmless, cute little cloven hooves. The mouth it begins to nod, and it's with its bulbous head, its antennae bouncing up and down like that.
guys.
And gets up on all fours, and like a really disproportioned hippopotamus starts making its way towards you.
Oh my god.
Guys, it's the Snorwhackle.
Historical is real.
It's real.
And it begins
best moment of my life.
coming to you. You can see with every single one of its steps that there's a small bit of gold in the ground.
I go and greet the Snorwhackle.
Oh, the Snorwhackle makes its way. Okay, so Tua, how far away from the group do you go?
Well, I'm just gonna start walking towards the Snorwhackle and kind of meet it halfway.
Okay, so you travel about 35 feet or so.
Yeah.
Okay, is anyone stopping Tua or?
Geminara would go with Tua.
Okay, Jaffe, are you joining
Wants to
those
tickle
two?
the Snorwhackle.
Yeah, I turn around to Hallion and I'm like, it's
Jim.
real. It's drink the cave juice. You'll see.
Hallion and Zeli, absolutely not. So,
I respected you at one point, Jaffe.
Jaffe, are you? So you are going with the other two?
I'm gonna. So you're not gonna drink the juice?
I'll tell you what I am
Jaffe,
going to do.
Yes.
And Hallion's going to start walking toward that hill ridge. He's like,
Going back
I'm
up.
going to make sure that nobody forgets about what we've seen just here on the other side of this hill. And let's see if that's actually an illusion or not first. I'll take a sip when I see that thing.
Hallion wouldn't even see the Snorwhackle even if he drank it because he just doesn't have imagination.
So Jaffe, you have not moved from your position. Is that correct?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, Hallion, you're going to the crest of the hill and you are taking a sip of it?
No. I want to see what's on the other side of that hill first. And like as I'm walking, I just look back. My fingers are just arcing with arcane energy. Just going, I have no creative imagination. Really interesting. An interesting fucking dilemma.
Meanwhile, Jem and Tua continue down the hill as the Snorwhackle, in a very bouncy fashion, starts making its way on over to you. The roars no longer being heard by Jaffe and Tua, instead only heard by Hallion and Zeli. Hallion, when you get over to the top of the ridge there, you can see the same thing that you had seen before, a village which is still burned out. You can see now a lantern moving in and amongst some of the buildings down there. Zeli, you are still pointed still pointing the crossbow at the.
I started to follow Hallion.
Okay.
And hiding in the trees and with the stealth type of thing, that was the point of that. So I'm going to hide and follow him as well, but still trying to stay as hidden as possible. And
okay, so you're also going uphill to overlook into the village.
Yep.
Okay, so you turned your back to them. Okay, so Jem go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, there's no sign of any sort of green scaly wing or two-forked tail.
No. Now, just to keep this in mind, when all five of you were looking down from the top of the hill, behind you was the burned out village. Looking back down the stream, the stream comes out of like a small area right near you where you are now, and then just starts running down the hill. As you look back down the stream towards the rocks where there's the space where she saw the clawed thing, behind that is where you saw the scaly beast. You did not see it in the village. You did not see it at the top of the hill. You saw it coming out from behind this.
Right. Maybe my intentions weren't super clarified. The dragon. I want to see if the dragon is there.
Okay.
Fuck the village. The village is gone. Everyone's dead.
Okay, so all right. So when you walk up to the top and you turn around, you're turning your back to the rocky formation where Tumman led you guys, and instead looking back down towards the burned out village. But
like backs to the Snorwhackle.
Yep.
Like I want to.
You don't see anything other than the village.
Wait.
Okay, hold up.
Where am I standing? Because the goal was to get to a point where I could survey behind where the wing and the tail was. That's where I want to look.
So here, I don't know if you guys can see this.
Yep.
Okay. So you are looking over here. If you look in this direction, is the burned out village like way down here? This is the peak of the hill.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the area where the rocks are, and in between these two rocks is the space. From over here is where you had seen the scales and everything like that rise.
Same.
Yeah. I go there.
You go past.
Yeah, I go there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's
I go there. I look at my eyes.
Okay. In that case,
it looks like you're going towards the Snorwhackle.
Exactly.
I am going towards nothing called Snorwhackle.
Snorwhackle.
So,
one must see the Snorwhackle as a goal to go towards it.
So Hallion, Jem, and Tua are now walking in the same direction. Zeli, since you were following Hallion, is that true for you as well?
Correct.
Okay, Jaffe, you're the only person there at the top of the hill overlooking the village.
No, I have Goaty with me.
You have.
That's true.
Nah.
Yeah, goat, stay back. Snorwhackle could eat you.
Nah.
Yeah, hang back there.
Okay, Goat stays over there with Jaffe. So, Gem, the Hallion is now stomping his way down towards you. You guys are maybe 20 feet away. The Snorwhackle does not acknowledge Hallion's presence at all. Instead, he bounds over to you and every single one of his happy little steps, leaving a small gold coin in the ground behind him. Hallion doesn't see any of this and continues right past him. Goes straight past the Snorwhackle, who again does not acknowledge his existence. Zeli, what are you doing?
Flitting between the trees and hiding and stealthing and following Hallion the same way.
Okay, same way. And Jaffa, you're still up at the top of the hill.
Yeah, I'm having a conversation with Goat. Like, Goat, you got to try this stuff, Goat. Really good. I haven't actually. Goat, do you think you might want to join us? I pop open the.
Don't drug my goat.
Oh, now it's a drug! When I was a child, it was just cave juice. It might as well have been High C or Capri Sun. But the second we put it in a goat, it's a drug. Interesting call. Interesting fucking delineation right there, Geminara. Goddamn Locke.
He gave me 3, so I'm gonna. Goat. I think Goat wants it. He's on his tongue.
I mean,
I pour it onto his tongue, lift up his chin a little bit, and I try to get it done.
One eye pops back in the right place.
Oh, see, it's
oh god, it's wrong.
It's having a positive effect.
He starts looking around a little bit and immediately sees Gem, and it starts bounding towards Gem. The Snorwhackle looks over with its teeth. You see a tongue come out.
Goats are friends, not food.
And the goat, and of course, a very sure-footed, except for this one, coming down the hill. It slips on a small rock. Continues down there. The Snorwhackle goes. Licks the goat right upside his face. Hallion, coming back to you. You go past the area where they are, seeing Gem's reaction to something disgusting, apparently. Hallion, you continue going down the way. You start picking up an acrid smell in the air as some kind of air movement is coming out of the hole between the rocks. Now, mind you, the hole between the rocks is maybe 4 feet wide. It really isn't huge at all. At about 4 feet wide and maybe 4.5, 5 feet deep. It opens up at a slight angle just due to the way that the rocks are. You know, how they slope up, and that forms the outer walls. Looking down, you can see that it's pretty much a straight drop as your dark vision begins to kick in.
I send the message to Hallion. What do you see?
And that is, you hear the sounds and the growls.
Don't see. What I hear is the same sort of growling. In the hole is not where the dragon was.
No, it was fine. It was just, it had to be like maybe. Now that you gauge it, you can see that the ground is rising up beyond that, and it had to have been maybe 50 feet away, and it was still huge.
Okay, let's try to go past the hole. Let's try to go to the crest up, see if I can spot anywhere where this fucking thing might have been.
Absolutely, you do. You rise up over that crest, and you look straight down into, it's maybe 20 feet wide, a sinkhole. You can see, like, it appears to be fairly recent, like maybe the past year or so. It's definitely seen a season. Some growth is already beginning to occur on the earthen walls. Looks like the bottom of it is filled up with a little bit of water, but you swear, and you're now within 30, 50, about 50 feet from it. So it's not like you can't see this massive thing. The sounds you are hearing are coming from that hole. It seems to be before you hit like a water surface, because obviously it's rained and stuff is collected in there. It's only about a 15-foot drop or so, but you can hear the sounds coming out of that.
Okay.
Get in the hole. Get
It might
in
have.
the
No,
hole.
I'm not getting in the hole. It might have gone in the hole, which means it's likely not going to bother us.
Snorwhackle's right here.
Yeah, we have the Snorwhackle. We've hunted it. We've successfully found it. It's not eating the goat. It's not eating the goat.
Back to the Snorwhackle crew. This thing is looking at you, and it plops back down on its rump, and one leg in a very cute fashion kicks out. Its two front claws, the hooves, things come out to
darn it.
stabilize itself, and it gets a very wide, toothy grin and begins to smile. Turns back to the goat, giant teeth wiggling everywhere. They don't seem like they're really in its head very well. And many of them are actually just blunt tips. They're all rounded. They're not pointy and dangerous. Its eyes getting sad and sadder.
So Jaffe leans down and picks up one of the gold coins that was left behind.
It feels very real and quite heavy for a coin. It feels like a gold coin.
It's wonderful.
Geminara is gonna reach out with her arrow, but just the feathery end, and just give it a little tickle under her chin. Just a little tickle.
It immediately raises its chin in satisfaction so that you get that one spot that it can't quite reach with its very short, like T-Rex front arms. As you begin to scratch it, the dogs, Hallion, there are dogs that have started to gather around or have come towards the hole, but they stay about 50 on the opposite side of the hole from where you are. They have approached the hole and they started barking into it. And that's when you noticed no sounds coming from it anymore.
Oh, I don't feel good about that hole anymore.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either.
Okay. Y'all said you found the Snorwhackle?
Indeed.
The
Give us your
Snorwhackle, upon hearing Hallion's voice, turns around its head as you see the skin in a gelatinous fashion stretching as it does, turning around and looks back at you with a very sad look on its face and starts to amble its way over to the village. Mind you, it's only gotten maybe 5 feet.
So it went past us.
No, well, it hasn't. It's only gotten 5 feet.
Okay, but it's going to us, like towards us, and
Oh,
Yeah, it looks like it wants to cross the stream, or right around where that makeshift bridge is of the dilapidated log, or the logs, or not dilapidated, the logs.
well, give us your rope, Hallion. We can tether this animal and bring him back, and our mission is accomplished.
oh, I've got a rope.
Okay.
Here, Jaffe, before he rolls a little bit too far, she tosses him part of the rope, so then they can sort of
Start.
It starts going through the copse of trees, the very small copse of trees that was there before, as it starts getting towards the thing. The rope is now around it, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the rope is around it. Hallion, Zeli, you no longer see the Snorwhackle because it's gone in behind some trees and whatnot, but it looks like that they have tethered it to a rope. What are you two doing?
I want to know how all of a sudden we can see it first.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can't see it. I apologize. That was me being a fool. No, you can't see it, but you can see that they are holding on to something with a taut rope in front of them.
Okay, so now this is going to sound silly, but can we see a rope around an invisible space?
It has
floating?
that space has gone behind the tree, so you can't see what it is.
Okay.
So we still look like maniacs.
But it's a taut rope.
Well, let me hoof it over there.
Suspicious.
See if I can
maniacs.
find, them actually holding a taut rope over what looks like nothing.
Okay, you
I'm
do.
going to come with you on that.
All right.
Can I ride the Snorwhackle?
You want to hop up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Do it.
Let's
Do
see.
it, do it.
Give me a dex check for acrobatics, please.
Tua, the
Or
exotic,
just straight up acrobatics skill
Right.
check, please.
Oh, that is awesome.
the rider of exotic
12.
creatures.
12. Well, you know what? You kind of get up there. It's all right. It's a little bit difficult because of its bulbous nature, and you kind of find yourself unable to really sit on it. Your legs are too splayed out, and you just kind of end up rolling off of it. And Snorwhackle very kindly stops just for a second, looks back at you with its head, skin stretching as it turns around, its antennae kind of following and bouncing around as it does so. looks at you and even lowers itself a little bit on the ground to give you a little bit better chance. It's fat that splays out on the ground, flattening itself out a little bit.
Like Jabba the Hutt?
Kind of like Jabba the Hutt, yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, I climb on top there.
All right, yeah, you do.
Behind the antennas.
Yeah, it absolutely. Oh, do you hold on to the antennae?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. So you hold on to the base. They're very firmly, they're actually solid down there towards the base, not at all. Hallion, Zeli, you are with Hallion?
Yes, I'm following behind him.
So the two of you come around. You can see that there's a rope there. Tua is also no longer in sight. Jaffe, Gem seems determined. She's holding on to this, watching this action here. Jaffe is also watching on. You come around and you see that Tua was trying to climb on something and then had just fallen off. And then as you finally come around, you can see that a baby green dragon has now lowered itself down to the ground, and Tua is now riding on its back. What are you guys doing?
I wave at them. Hallion, Zeli, you're here!
And she gets lifted up in the air as the baby green dragon, which is actually a very large animal, starts moving straight and away from you.
Oh my gosh. I wish we had a portrait maker right now, because this is adorable. This is just amazing.
How far off the ground is it?
It's not flying. It's a baby green dragon. It's maybe 5 feet at the shoulders.
Okay, I got you. It's hopping or whatever it's doing. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's walking normally. It's ambling, and you can see why Tua was not able to get up there at first, because one of the Stegosaurus type of scales on its back, they're not exactly firm. By the way, she's holding onto the horns on its head.
Okay.
She got on the wrong area. Tua's actually sitting between two of the neck scales.
Hallion, we saw a big giant dragon. Now we're seeing a baby dragon.
This is not great. So I'd like to voice a concern.
Oh, what's the problem?
And the thing continues.
Hey,
it now goes across the stream. Gem?
Oh. Am I still holding on?
Yeah, that's up to you.
Well, if the rope is going taut, I'm going to hang on.
Yeah,
and try and just sort of
and just
hold on to it.
Awesome. And in terms of speed, it's moving at about 30. So Snorwhackle begins to pick up speed. Tua, you find yourself bouncing up and down very kindly. Hallion, Zeli, you guys see its neck is just kind of undulating as it continues down the way with a very otherwise firm body connected to it.
Tua's so happy she's about to cry.
The thing turns around, its head, Gem, Jaffe, Tua, the whole thing, the neck is stretching back and looks over at you with a nice big toothy maw. Its teeth, the very blunt teeth, flopping around all over the place. A little bit of a tear of happiness comes down one of its eyes as it looks at you. And you're holding on, and then it turns back and it continues to bounce very happily down the way. Hallion, what you see is this serpentine neck of a baby dragon look back at its food, which is now sitting on its back.
Oh.
And it comes back and starts continuing forward.
So, do we all remember that one little valley with the big tree and the horn and the army that got torn to pieces? How we saw
Rising
nothing?
Up. You can
But there was a dragon there?
hear the growl as you look behind you, Hallion and Zeli, and you can see the undulating neck again, this time dripping with wetness as it begins to start flying higher and higher. You see a massive adult green dragon start soaring up into the sky. Horses and dogs start running out of the way. Meanwhile, back at the Snorwhackle, Gem, Jaffe, and Tua, this thing is starting. It's just ambling its way towards the village.
Oh, we need to steer it back to the village.
Right, you're right. We gotta bring it back to that small child and show him that we got it.
No, we need to cut this rope and we need to seriously run. And
come on, Snorwhackle. Let's no, this way, buddy. Come on.
You have lassoed a baby green dragon.
Tua, what are you doing?
I am holding on to and I'm trying to speak to the Snorwhackle.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying like Snorwhackle. Do you know Tommen?
Tommen.
Yeah, is he your friend?
friends.
Oh, see? Did you hear that, Geminara?
I did! Yeah! Oh my god, it said my name.
Geminara.
You all drank the cave juice. I don't understand why this isn't getting through. Zeli, you see what I'm seeing.
It begins to move even faster.
Oh, whoa, okay, buddy.
And it starts picking up speed. Now that it's made some friends, it starts galloping up and down and up and down and over the hills and everything else, all towards the village. Hallion and Zeli only at a running speed. Would you be able to catch up with this? What do?
Let's go.
Oh, these assholes.
You start running?
We can just leave and let them die if you want. But yeah, we have to follow them. So we start running. Okay. I do.
Yeah, we got to run after these assholes.
I'm telling you, man.
There is above you. You hear the wings crossing path every now and then, soaring, and it has to be about 200 feet above you. Jem, Jaffe, and Tua, there's a lovely breeze that is being kicked up in the night air. Fresh smells of the grass and hay for all around you. Everything seems absolutely lovely. Zeli and Hallion, the wind stirred up by the leathery wings of an adult green dragon only 200 feet above you, is kicking up one hell of a dust. The clouds of dust begin forming all around you as this thing starts obscuring some of the sight in the area, but it doesn't seem to be doing it on purpose. Rather, it is, in order to maintain its position in the sky, it needs to continue to beat its wing in its current place, as if to watch what is happening.
The Snorwhackle has a mother. You need to let that rope go. Get off of it, Tua.
Jem, Jaffe, and Tua, what are you guys doing?
Well, the Snorwhackle is now my friend.
Yeah, we're friends to the Snorwhackle. We're gonna bring it back to the child who's gonna give us gold for it.
You say as you are running? Or do you stop? Okay.
We're gonna give it back to the child who's giving us gold for it. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, this is the mission. Get the Snorwhackle.
Are they going in the direction of the town where the kid is?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
What are you guys doing? Just continuing down the way?
Keeping up with the Snorwhackle.
So just jogging next to Zeli, I just turn to him and I go, look, I know it's going to seem really callous and heartless, but I don't know if that dragon is real or if the Snorwhackle is real. I say we wait until maybe one of them gets killed and then we have an honest-to-God answer.
It stops right in front of Hallion and Zeli.
What does?
The dragon stops looking at you, folds its wings into its body, its head reeling up. Every now and then, its maw breathing heavily, growling in a fierceness over you. Jem, Jaffe, and Tua, for some reason, Hallion and Zeli they're not following you anymore, and it continues to follow you.
You don't see why they're not. I turn back
They just seem to be standing still.
Sticks in the mud. They just don't want to join the Snorwhackle.
I'm going to try to duck behind something to not be in a direct path of it.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah. Now, mind you, this is a massive creature. It is looking straight at you, and if you die behind something, it's like a mouse hiding behind a rock to this thing.
fair? But that's a natural reaction. It's
Sure.
like, okay,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Hallion, what are you doing?
I'm going to address it in Draconic.
Oh, hey now.
Thank God I took that language.
That's right.
And I'm going to say, first of all, I wanted to say that it is an unprecedented honor to be in the presence of something so large and powerful. I understand the dynamic of the relationship between you and what my cohorts are currently lassoing and riding towards a village. And I want to express my deepest apologies. You see, they're drugged on cave juice, and they may not understand the gravity of the situation that they are now finding themselves in.
Its lip lifts. A glistening ivory fang about the length of your arm is revealed.
Allow us, if you find yourself magnanimous this evening, to retrieve your child unharmed, and we shall not bother you in your domain again.
Yeah, tell him I have no problem shooting our friends just to not be eaten.
My other cohort wishes to express that the lives of our cohorts currently intertwined with your offspring mean nothing to him in service of your agenda to reunite with your child.
I don't mean to kill him, just to get him away from it.
We know where our priorities lie.
Nice. Of course, I don't hear that, but okay.
Oh, no, you heard that.
Yeah, but it's in Draconic. I don't understand.
Oh, that's true. It does not seem to be budging from its position. Instead, its purpose seems to be very much to block this pathway. It has leaned in at one point while you were talking. Its nostrils beginning to flare as it sniffs in your scent, takes it in. It gets within about 10 feet of you, and that's when you really realize exactly how large this thing is. Already at that distance, its head is massive. Leaning in, it looks, and then looks over at the tree behind which Zeli is now hidden, every now and then saying something, and then a hand comes and waves. A stoic face of determination, examination, looking at you.
Oh, I put
peering
my
at
weapon
you.
away.
An aura begins to palpitate off of it. You can feel it beginning to writhe around in your bones as your bones start getting weaker. First, your joints start getting weaker as you begin to feel your knees collapse in on themselves. Meanwhile, back at the Snorwhackle, Jem, Jaffe, and Tua, the three of you are bounding towards the village. And absolutely, it's just bring. It's going down the way. Every now and then, gold coins. Jaffe, as you trail behind them, you can see that the gold coins are there. Are you picking these things up?
Every once in a while, I'll just kind of like reach down and see if I can snag one or two.
Yeah, absolutely, you do. You continue to snag them, and it seems to be a lot to be had.
Geminara also reaches down and follows Jaffe's suit and just tries to just grab a few on her way.
Sure, yeah. You guys have each grabbed about like 20 gold or so. By the time that you reach the village, you see adults as their eyes started to widen as they see Tua on top of this thing coming in. Those adults back in the village, all of them wide-eyed in absolute abject horror, go back into their houses very quietly, shut the doors, put bars over in the back, and Snorwhackle! The kid comes out of the house and starts diving towards it and wraps his hands around the Snorwhackle's very thick neck, holding onto it. Meanwhile,
Geminara, Locke, and company have delivered the Snorwhackle to you.
Meanwhile, back by the
back in Gotham City,
Hallion, Zeli, the two of you, Hallion.
Huh?
It opens its mouth as it leans forward. You should have drank the juice. Hold on, Zeli. That was in Draconic?
God damn it. Yeah. What do you say? You should have drank the juice? Like, I look over to the tree, like, unblinking, and just like...
And as you down it, Zeli, you begin doing it as well.
I see him doing it. Let's go.
Just a panic look. It's like, dude, you better fucking just do it.
You see the air begin to scintillate all around you as your vision becomes a little bit clearer and colors become a little bit brighter, including the green metallic scales. You can also see that it begins to get a little bit smaller still. Now some of its scales turning a little bit black, its head becoming hunched over, the scales on its neck beginning to retreat, as finally Sebastian stands in front of you. You did not attack. So many people have tried to kill us.
An adult green dragon? I'm alone. Do you raise idiots in this village? Because if that's what you've experienced,
This ain't gonna hurt you.
the people who burned and died there, is that what they did? Did they attempt a one-on-one with a? No, dear Lord, no. Oh God, Tundria, why? Why? What is this?
What is the point of all of this, and why?
To stay in our home. That's all. There's really nothing more to it than that, you see. We don't want to be chased out. You know how long it takes to create caverns? Every now and then, some of them begin to collapse. And my son now has a friend there in the village.
The Snorwhackle is your son.
Oh, yes.
What is it? Never mind.
Who is the mother?
That is the reason why the village is burned. Well, melted.
Because of the mother.
Who was killed by them.
The townspeople in that town?
Yes. They launched an attack a year ago against us in a vain effort. She tried to fend them off without harming a single one of them. Normally our kind are evil to the core, I can understand. And still we feast upon the cows in this area, as we must. Your victuals would never be able to fill our bellies. They didn't like it anymore, as we had done so. But when they killed my wife, I had no choice but to raise that village. But now
I would have done the same thing.
No, I understand the sentiment almost exactly.
Now my son has a friend, and shall be raised in and amongst humans.
Raised amongst humans.
Meanwhile, back in the village. Tua, since you're on the back of the Snorwhackle, what are you doing?
Snorwhackle and a high five, Geminara.
Yeah. Oh, you cut off on the first part of that.
I jump off the Snorwhackle, down on the ground, and then I run over to Geminara and I high five her.
Okay, you do.
Yep.
Good job.
Yes, the Snorwhackle starts bounding in a very happy, bouncy fashion. Its bulbous body heading towards the door, back into the house, of which Toman has already gone. The body is unfortunately too wide to fit into the. It pops in, squeezing like a tube of toothpaste into it, and then gets ejected further into the house. And then you can hear Toman laughing the entire time, and all sorts of fun play. Every now and then, you hear and as they begin to play their games. But in the meantime, what do you? The mayor comes over. Well, you have done very well, I see.
Yes, of course. Yes.
This is wonderful news. You have collected the gold that it leaves behind.
Some of it.
What gold? Didn't notice that.
Oh, every time that the Snorwhackle takes a step.
Oh, that gold. Some of it. Yes, not all.
Oh,
but
you should
yes.
go back and collect it.
That's our payment, isn't it? It's our payment. You're expecting us to go back and pick it off the ground. You don't actually have any gold on you, do you?
Well, the Archduke does.
And where is the Archduke?
In the house, playing with Toman.
What?
But that's a Snorwhackle.
Meanwhile, back in the back with Hallion and Zeli.
So why is it so important that a Snorwhackle gets raised amongst humans?
The dragonkin in this area are dead. It's time to repopulate the species.
Doesn't that mean you're going to have half-bloods?
Exactly what dragonkin is. Don't you see?
I do now, since you can take human form-ish. Okay.
Go join your friends. Say nothing of this, otherwise the villagers will only try to seek us out. All of them have drank the juice as part of their routine. They only see what they want to see, something harmless. Let them see it, and we will not burn the village. This is our secret now, is it not?
Yeah, it's our secret. I didn't see shit.
Zeli, did you see anything?
I see you.
Great. They were in agreement.
Back to the village. Make sure no one knows.
Yep.
I will be watching.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yep. No intent to betray.
Sebastian steps off to the side.
Great. Briskly fucking walk back to the village.
You do. You absolutely do. Now back in the village.
If there's any gold on the ground,
Yes, there
I'm
is.
just gonna doop.
Oh, my.
Yes, there is.
Thing up.
There's gold. You guys collect about 300 gold in total. All of you. Each. Actually, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Actually, you collect 100 gold. I apologize. Collect 100 gold off of the ground from when it started walking up until now. Meanwhile, back in the village, yes, a Snorwhackle. The Snorwhackle is the Archduke. It's not really a Snorwhackle, but we don't tell anyone that. It's actually a small child. A child who inherited the position when the Archduke died. And so now we entertain it. He likes to drink polymorph potions and turn into a Snorwhackle. During the day he conducts business. Over here at night he comes and he plays.
Ah,
That makes total sense.
nobles, man. Just
They're very odd here in Tumbria. But
Yeah.
shh, don't tell anyone our secret.
sure. Of course not. I'm gonna write about this exclusively. Well then,
Meanwhile, Hallion and Zeli, you catch back up just as Jem says, well then.
I do have one last question,
Yes.
which is, why did the Snorwhackle go away?
I
What
don't-
would he left for a time? So what was his name again?
Toma.
Tom,
Right, that one. Tim. He was upset, and that's why he sent out the posters with the Archduke's seal on it. If the Archduke's seal belongs to the Archduke, who is the Snorwhackle, then they were just trying to find each other?
Something
Huh.
like that. We don't ask too many questions to the nobles around these parts.
Smart man.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. No other questions, everybody? I think we've got the gold. Y'all have your Snorwhackle. Great. Tunbria away, then, everyone?
Tell everyone that Geminara Locke found the Snorwhackle, saved this young lad's friendship, and has ridden off into the sunrise.
Your name shall go down in history, no doubt.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, make sure you ascribe Geminara Locke to all the preceding events that would happen to follow from this encounter.
And remember, our secret.
Of course. I
Slap
know.
Hallion on the back and give him a little wink, and yep.
And you guys leave the village.
But before we do that,
Oh, boy.
Oh, there's more.
One more thing.
one more thing. I noticed some people wearing some hats.
Yeah. Yes, the Tumbrian folk hat. Yes.
Known as a haberdasher.
Yes.
Who sells them?
We all make our own.
How much for yours?
Gotta put in the effort.
2 gold.
Take 2 of what can only be reasonably ascribed to a Snorwhackle dropping.
Hold on. Hey, Snorwhackle, come here, buddy. Come on, come here.
Run around in circles.
Take 2
Just
steps.
put him on a treadmill.
I just want him to take 2 steps for Hallion.
They're
Come on,
inside the house playing, but he's in the house playing with Toman.
Yeah, he would take 2 of the gold and get one of the massive floppy Tumbrian hats.
Sure, yeah, you do. And now you have a massive floppy Tumbrian hat. I'll sketch it out for you, and I'll show you exactly what they look like. Hopefully, I'll have an illustration during the Tumbrian episode. Hey, just so that you guys know, by the way, all right, so are you guys now leaving the village?
Yeah, like a bat out of hell.
All right, and all of you leave, and that was the hunt of the Snorwhackle. Stay tuned. We're gonna get right back into it with the after party. We'll see you guys in a little bit.